Hello friends, I am Sonal Tambe. As we all know, the due date for filing GSTR 9 and 9C is the 31st December 24 for financial year 23-24, which is approaching very fast. An offline online utility for filing the both GSTR 9 and 9C is already available on the GST portal. In this video, we will try to get the same information about the GSTR 9 mandatory and the optional table, which precaution we need to be taken before filing the GSTR 9. So let's start. What is a GSTR 9? GSTR 9 is an annual return that required to be filed by the person who is registered under the GST for the each financial year. It includes the detail of outward supply, inward supply, the debit note, credit note which are the raised during the such financial year, input tax credit avail, utilize, the ITC which need to be reversed due to reverse provision applicable, tax liability, tax payments against the such liability, the refund claim, and the demand created, if any. Can you please tell me who is required to file the GSTR 9? The GSTR 9 is required to be filed by the person who is registered under the GST and whose aggregate annual turnover for financial year 23-24 exceed rupees 2 crore is mandatorily required to file the GSTR 9 for the such financial year, and the taxpayer whose aggregate annual turnover does not exceed rupees 2 crore are the relaxed from the filing the GSTR 9. As we all know, the GSTR 9 and 9C is a depend upon the aggregate annual turnover of the registered person. Aggregate annual turnover is a defined in section 2, subsection 6 of the CGST Act. It includes the taxable supply, exempted supply, and the export turnover. The taxable supply includes the supply of the goods and services, both whether the intrastate or the interstate. Exempt supply includes the exempted supply, which are the exempted by the notification, exemption notification, the nil rated supply, and the non-taxable supply. The non-taxable supply means the the supply on which the tax is not levied under the GST Act. Export turnover includes the supply of goods and services both with the payment of duty or without payment of the duty. The GSTR 9 depends upon the GSTR 9 is required to file by the person whose aggregate annual turnover exceed rupees 2 crore. But if the such turnover exceed rupees 2 crore but the less than the 5 crore is mandatory to file the GSTR 9. But it's optional for him to file the GSTR 9C. And if the such limit exceed rupees the 5 crore, it's compulsory required to file the GSTR 9 and the 9C. So aggregate annual turnover plays an important role in for this to decide the GSTR 9 and the 9C filing. There are some important points which we keep in mind before filing the GSTR 9. The registered person must have the acting GST as a normal or the regular taxpayer during the such relevant financial year, even for single day. All the GSTR 1, IFF, and GSTR 3B must be filed before the filing the GSTR 9. The GSTR has to be filed for every GST, that is for each registration. The separate filing required for the multiple registration under the same PAN. For example, if the person has a four different GST registration and his aggregate annual turnover exceed rupees the 2 crore, he is compulsorily required to file the GSTR 9, even if the turnover per GST registration is less than rupees the 2 crore. If there is a difference in GSTR 1, GSTR 3B, and the books of account, I would recommend to file the GSTR 9 even if the aggregate annual turnover is less than rupees 2 crore. Who is exempt from filing GSTR 9? The taxpayer who is registered under the composition scheme. He has to file GSTR 4 instead of GSTR 9. Casual taxable person, input service distributor, non-resident taxable person, the person paying the TDS under Section 51 of the CGST Act, and the person collecting the TCS under Section 52 of the CGST Act. There is one important amendment about the due date of GSTR 4. Up to the financial year 23-24, the due date for filing the GSTR 4 is the 30th April of the following relevant financial year. But from the financial year 24-25 onwards, the deadline to file the GSTR 4 has been extended to the 30th June of the following financial year. as per the notification 12/2024 dated 10 July 24. In simple words, from the financial year 24-25, the due date of filing the GSTR for year will be 30th June of the relevant succeeding financial year, which means 30th June 2025. Who is eligible to file the new GSTR? The new GSTR main file can be filed by the registered person who meets the all following conditions. He has not made any outward supply, which is commonly known as a sale, and he has not received any goods and the services, so commonly known as a purchase. And he has no other liability to report, and he has not claimed any ITC, uh, and he has not claimed any refund, and he has not received any order which creating the demand, and there is a note late fee to be paid. Or yeah, additionally, he has to file all the GSTR 1 and the GSTR 3 before filing the GSTR new GSTR 9. If all the conditions are satisfied, he is eligible to file the new GSTR 9. There are some essential facts which we must remember while filing GSTR 9. The GSTR 9 is an annual return that cannot be revised the once filed. So we have to give the proper and accurate information in GSTR 9. The input tax credit for the financial year is calculated based on the supplier's filing, that is a GSTR 1, IFF, GSTR 5 up to the 30th November 2024. If the supplier makes the delay in filing the such GST return, this may lead to the loss of ITC or the reconciliation issue. So the registered taxpayer must remain connect with the supplier for the filing the correct and timely the GST the return. The GST return. This is an final opportunity to rectify any error or the omission made in GSTR 1 and the GSTR 3B. Whatever the additional liability identified in GSTR 9 must be paid through the form TRC03 using the electronic cash ledger. It is important to note that the ITC cannot be claimed while filing GSTR 9. What is the due date to file the GSTR 9? The due date for the to file the GSTR 9 is the 31st December of the subsequent financial year, or as extended by the government. For the financial year 23 and 24, due date is the 31st December 2024. As we all know, the GSTR 9 consists of the 19 table, which are the group into the 6 part. The first part includes the table 1 to table 3, which contain the basic information such as the financial year, GST, legal name, trade name, etc. The actual working in form GSTR 9 start from the table 4. R2 of GSTR 9 contain the detail of the outward and the inward supply made during the financial year, that is the April 23 to March 24. The table 4 contains the information of the outward supply, which may be B2B, B2C, export with payment of the tax applied to the SEZ unit with payment of the tax deemed export inward supply on which the GST is payable by the registered taxpayer, that is RCM supply advance against the supply of the services for which the GST is payable. The invoice need to be the issue and corresponding adjustment of the debit note and the credit note relating to the such transaction, the result of the which GST is the payable. All these transactions are the mandatorily required to be reported in the table 4 of the GSTR the 9. In simple words, the data pertaining to financial year 23-24 and the shown in April 23 to March 24 the returns on which the GST is payable is shown in table 4. The table 5 contains the information of the outward supply made during the financial year 23-24 on which the GST is not payable, which may be the export without payment of the tax, that is a zero rated supply, the supply to the SSZ unit without payment of the tax, the supply on which the recipient is liable under the reverse charge mechanism, and the corresponding adjustment of the debit note and the credit note the relating to the such transaction. In the table 5 also, the data pertaining to financial year 23 and 24 and shown in the April 23 to March 24 returns on which the GST is not payable is mandatorily required to be shown. Part 3 of the GSTR 9 require the person to file the details of the all ITs related information. The some of the information in this part is auto populated, whereas the most of the other details we have to give in manually. This part consists of the table 6, 7 and table 8. The table 6 is for the availment of ITC, table 7 is for the reversal of ITC, and the table 8 for the reconciliation of the ITC. In table 6, we require to give the details of all the ITC availed as declared in the GST return. The table 6A is auto-populated from the table 4A of GSTR 3B, which means that the credit pertaining to financial year 23-24, which is just shown in financial year 23-24 GST return, is auto-populated in table 6A, which capture the information from GSTR 3B table 4A. The table 7 require the reversal of the require the details of ITC reverse and the ITC ineligible for the financial year 23-24. The ITC which required to be reversed on account of Rule 37 means where the recipient failed to make the payment within the 180 days. The Rule 39 means ISD credit reversal. Rule 42, Rule 43, which require ITC to be reversed due to the common credit in the respect of input and input services. Rule 43 capital good, and the section 17 subsection 5 block credit. And we have to give the require ITC reversal details due to transition of the transitional credit. We can show the all the reversal credit in table 7H except transitional credit as per the guidelines of how to file the GSTR 99C file the notification 38 oblique 2323. But my suggestion is to show is suggestion is in table 7 is that we have to show the ITC reversal amount separately. In table 8 we have to give the other ITC related information. There is one important amendment in the table 8, that is in table A. In table 8A, the data is taken from GSTR 2B now for the financial year 23 and 23 up to financial year 22-23. The table 8A contains table 8A data is auto populated from the GSTR 2B, and from the financial year 23-24 the table A data is now taken from GSTR 2B. The GST portal has updated the GSTR 9 online form with a button which is a title as a download the table 8A or documents title. The taxpayer filers can now get the invoice wise details of input tax credit auto populated in table 8A of the GSTR 9. This part require the furnishing the information or the details of different nature of the taxes, that is a IGST, CGST, SGST and the UGST, which is a payable and paid either in a cash or through the utilization of the input tax credit. The table 9 of GSTR 9 captures the corresponding impact of the table 4 and 5. In table 9 we show the tax payable and tax paid either through e-cash ledger or the e-credit ledger. In short, the GST liability of the financial year 23-24, which is shown and paid in financial year 23-24 GST return, is shown in the table 9. The sum total of amount from the sum total of the amount from the table 6 of the GSTR 3B, which contain the information of the tax payable, will get auto populated in the table 9. In table 9, while reporting the details of the tax payable, we have to ensure that the detail reported in table 4 of GSTR 9 is in a line with the total tax payable. And another important point that the amount of tax paid in cash, the reported as in this table, is a match with actual cash payment. Part 5 of the GSTR 9 is an important one. It requires to show the details of the particulars of the transaction for the financial year declared in the returns. of the next financial year till the specified period. Means if there is an adjustment of a transaction pertaining to financial year 23-24, which is shown in the April 24 to October 24 returns are the required to be reported the year. The table 10 contains the information of the some outward supply adjustment or the incremental tax liability by the way of the debit note pertaining to financial year 23-24, and which is shown in the GST returns of April 24 to 24. In short, if there is some adjustment which resulted into the increase in the tax liability need to be shown in the table 10, and in table 11 we show the details of the some outward supply adjustment or the details of the credit note which resulted in the decrease in the liability pertaining to financial year 23-24, and which is shown in the April 24 to October 24 the return. The table 14 the capture the corresponding impact of the 10 table 10 and the table 11. The table 14 means contain the information of the differential tax including the interest paid due to table 10 and 11 is to be declared in table 14 mandatory. Table 12 the requires the reporting of the aggregate value of the reversal of the input tax credit in the previous financial year, and which is available in the returns filed in the current financial year up to the specified period. The table 12 is an optional one. In short, the table 12 contains the reversal of require the reporting of the aggregate value of the reversal of the input tax credit of the financial year 23-24, which is available in the returns filed in the April 24 to October 24 returns. The table for 13 the requires the reporting of the details of the ITC for the goods or the services received in the previous financial year, but the ITC for the same was available in the current financial year up to the specified period. The table 13 is an also optional in nature. Part 6 of GSTR 9 contain the other information. Part 6 contain the table 15, table 16, table 17 and the table 18. The table 15 is an optional one. Table 15 the contain the detail of the refund claim, sanction, rejected or the pending for the processing. This table will not include the detail of the non-GST refund claim. The table 15 also contain the value of the demand of the taxes for which the order has been issued by the respective authority. The table 16 contain the information of the supply, the received from composition taxpayer, the deemed supply under section 143, that is a job where good was sent on approval basis which are not received back within the stipulated period. The table 16 is an optional in one. The table 18 require the HSN wise summary of the inward supply which is also optional in nature. The table 17 require the HSN or the SSC wise summary of the outward supply. The registered person whose aggregate turnover is up to rupees 5 crore require the 4-digit HSN or the SSC wise summary of the outward supply for the B2B supply, and this one is optional for the B2C supply. The registered person whose aggregate turnover exceeds rupees 5 crore compulsorily requires the 6-digit HSN or the SSC wise summary of the outward supply for the B2B and B2C also. Here we get the details of the late fees for the delayed filing of the GSTR 9. Filing GSTR 9 is not just a compliance requirement but an opportunity to ensure the transparency and accuracy in our annual GST return. Timely and accurate filing help us avoid penalty and support the seamless reconciliation with our financial record. Thank you.